Hey friends, here's our new read aloud book. We are going to start Magic Treehouse Lions at Lunchtime. When I flip to the back of the book, remember it gives us an idea of what the book is about. So listen as I read it to you. It says, "Where are the lions?" Jack wonders when the magic treehouse whisks him and his sister to the vast plains of Africa. Before he can find out, Annie starts to help hundreds of wildebeest cross a rushing river. Next, they follow a honey of a bird and meet an awesome Maasai warrior. Jack hopes any lions will just stay away. Jack is about to be very disappointed. But you won't be when you read Magic Treehouse number 11, Lions at Lunchtime. So I'm going to open up to chapter 1. And chapter 1 is called, there's our table of contents. Chapter 1 is called Before Lunch. All right, see if I can get the book in there so you can follow along as I read. It says, Jack and Annie were walking home from the grocery store. Jack's pack was heavy. It held a big jar of peanut butter and a loaf of bread. "Are you going to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?" said Annie, "or a peanut butter and honey sandwich?" Jack started to answer but stopped. "Oh, man," he whispered. "What is it?" said Annie. "Look at that," said Jack. Notice what he's looking at. He pointed to the edge of the Frog Creek woods. In the shadows stood a small, delicate animal. It looked like a tiny deer. "It's a sign," whispered Annie. "Remember when we saw the rabbit? He was a sign of the Wild West." The deer-like creature leaped into the woods. Jack and Annie didn't stop to think. They followed as fast as they could. Jack's heavy pack thumped against his back as he ran. Finally they stopped and looked around. "Where did she go?" he said. "I don't see her," said Annie. "Oh, wow," said Annie, and she pointed up. There was the magic treehouse. It was shining in the noon sun at the top of the tallest trees in the wood. Its rope ladder swayed in the shadows below. "Where's Morgan?" said Annie. Morgan Le Fay wasn't waving at them from the window. She wasn't even at the window. "I don't know. Let's go up," said Jack. They climbed the ladder and went into the treehouse. Sunlight streamed through the window. It lit a stack of books and 2 scrolls in the corner. The ancient scrolls held the answers to riddles Jack and Annie had solved earlier. Jack took off his heavy pack. "Did Morgan leave us the 3rd riddle?" said Annie. "Looking for someone?" said a small voice. Jack and Annie whirled around. "Morgan!" said Annie. Morgan Le Fay had appeared out of nowhere. She looked ancient and lovely in the bright light. "Do you still want to become master librarians?" she asked Jack and Annie, "so you can help me with my work?" "Yes," they said together. "Wonderful," Morgan said. Then she reached into her robe and pulled out a scroll. "You solved 2 riddles so far," she said. "Here is your 3rd. She handed the scroll to Annie. "And for your research," she pulled a book from her robe and handed it to Jack. The book's cover said, "The Plains of Africa." "Africa?" said Jack. "Oh, man, I've always wanted to go there." He opened the book. He and Annie stared at a picture. It showed hordes of zebras, tall giraffes, big animals with horns, and tiny deer-like creatures. "Hey, that's the animal that led us here," said Annie. "A Thompson's gazelle, I believe," Morgan said. "Where are the lions?" said Jack. "You'll find out," said Morgan. Maybe we need to plan this trip," said Jack. Morgan smiled. "No, go ahead. Make your wish now." Annie pointed at the picture. "I wish we could go there," she said. "Be careful," said Morgan. "Just keep an eye out." "For what?" said Jack. The lions, of course, she said. Wait, said Jack. Too late. The wind had started to blow. The treehouse had started to spin. Jack squeezed his eyes shut. The treehouse spun faster and faster, and then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 2 tomorrow is called Jump, Beasts, Jump. Wow. Looking at the picture, look who visits them first. Exciting. Would you be excited to go to Africa and see these animals, or would you be kind of nervous like Jack? I think I'd be a little bit nervous of the big animals and a little bit excited to see them in real life. Be sure to check the link tomorrow to see what happens in Chapter 2. Bye, friends!